Welcome to the FWOT Show on the Coil Entertainment Network, pointing out idiocy one story at a time. I'm Rob Steele, that's Jesus Jones in the background, and don't forget to buy the new album. Comes out April 20th, available on Amazon and wherever music is sold. But before you hop on Amazon to buy the new album, I have some things to tell you. Starting this week in Texas, where people who know what salsa should taste like live. That's also Mexico, because, you know, they kind of invented it. Or maybe that was Spain. It doesn't matter. This story has nothing to do with salsa. It has to do with masturbation. There is a bill that has been put forward in the House of Texas, filed late last week by Democratic Texas legislator Representative Jessica Farrar. It's House Bill 4260, called the Man's Right to Know Act. Now, I have a feeling this is a bit satirical because there is a Women's Right to Know Act that prevents a lot of women from doing a lot of things that women should be allowed to do, like get health care. However, the way this bill is phrased amuses me too much, so I'm putting it in here. This bill says things like a man must receive a rectal exam before he receives a colonoscopy. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't a colonoscopy a rectal exam? I'm just throwing things out here. The thing that got to a lot of people was that it would make masturbation illegal, punishable by jail time, where you'll have plenty of time to do that in the privacy of your own cell. I guess. But it wouldn't make it completely illegal. It would be fine if the man stored his masturbatory emissions in a jar for his wife to conceive with. Masturbatory emissions, because, yeah, that's a term. South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster, who's a Republican, gasp, on Wednesday said that the national student walkout was shameful. And it's just an attempt by left-wing groups to push their own political agenda. Except it's not. I'll agree with him. In a sense, they are shameful. It is very shameful to have a student walkout protesting guns. The shameful bit comes not from where he thinks it does. It comes because the students are ashamed of our government for not doing anything about the getting killed in schools from massive assault weapons. They haven't done anything. Because whenever one of the shootings happens, oh, it'll be politicized. We can't talk about it now. Well, there's always going to be one until you get off your asses and do something about it. It is absolutely shameful that these students have to walk out to get your attention, to get you to do something. And even then, they're not doing anything. So, shame on you, Henry McMaster, for not getting it. You know what? Here's a radical idea. You want to get them to stop doing things like this? Do something positive for society and not your wallet. I haven't seen a Republican, and yeah, I said that right. I haven't seen a Republican do something like that ever. I haven't. It's always to put money in their wallet. Show me something good that they've done. I'm open. You know what? Maybe what they should do is take a page from the Ferengi book called The Rules of Acquisition. Yeah, this is from Star Trek, but maybe every once in a while they should declare peace, because it confuses the hell out of your enemies. This is the issue you should declare peace on. Do something about the guns. Or I'll use more than just Rule of Acquisition number 76. And now news from the world of United Airlines. There was a death on a United flight from Houston to New York 2 Mondays ago. The death was the result of something done by a United Airlines flight attendant. See, this is just going to get worse. The problem was the attendant put a French bulldog named Papacito in the overhead carrier. You know where you put your luggage? And for some reason, the dog just didn't do good without things like water and what's that other thing? Oh yeah, air. The dog died. Go figure. Now, I'm not in favor of suffocating dogs in overhead containers. I'm not. I'm not a big fan of dogs because I'm allergic to the little f***s. And I don't think they should be on the plane in the first place. Unless you put them in the pet container section with the rest of the luggage. Keep your dogs where the dogs are supposed to be. That's all I'm saying. United says this was a tragic incident that should never have occurred, as pets should never be placed in the overhead bin. Pets shouldn't even be on the plane, you There's a story coming out of Gaston County, North Carolina, and it comes from a school spelling list. Yeah, because I'm not above putting any story in this show. Yeah. Jennifer Thompson got her 6-year-old daughter's spelling list and was outraged that it included the word gook. Now, gook, when I grew up, not knowing about the racial slur, gook was that stuff you got on your hands after working under the car, or that strange mixture of mud and grass that you tracked through the house. Look at that gook you smeared all over the carpet. And then, have to clean everything up. That's what it was. Gook. Now apparently refers to people of Southeast Asia in a disparaging way. I had never heard that before. So putting it on a spelling list, you know what? Just in case, leave it off. I'm not sure it's a real word anyway. And that, quite frankly, is all I have to say about that. Let's move on. Bit of sports news because... damn. Comes from the 2018 NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament, where St. Francis University, somewhere no one had ever heard of before, somehow got slated to fight perennial powerhouse UConn. Final score, SFU 52, University of Connecticut 140. Because, damn. Lots of records fell, like the most points in a quarter. Old record 45, new record 55. Most points in a half. Old record 80, new record 94. This is a mismatch. David versus Goliath. Only it's women, so what? Daphne versus Jennifer. Jennifer has bigger shoes and squashed the crap out of Daphne. Maybe it was Velma. Velma can beat the crap out of Daphne. Let's go with that instead. And yes, that was a Scooby-Doo joke. Speaking of powerful women, Wonder Woman herself, Gal Gadot, because you pronounce the T, had some comments about the passing of Dr. Stephen Hawking, which was sad. But she tweeted, "Rest in peace, Dr. Hawking. Now you're free of any physical constraints. Your brilliance and wisdom will be cherished forever." I think that's a nice thing. However, people with disabilities and their advocates took offense at what Gal Gadot said, saying that there was nothing wrong with his mind. People who are handicapped are perfectly capable of doing great things. Well, yeah, not arguing that. The thing was, she mentioned that, since he was diagnosed with ALS, it pretty much ruined his body. Now, according to her religion and many others, he's free of the physical constraints, and maybe he can walk again. I don't know. It's an afterlife thing, and we haven't gotten there yet. So maybe, perhaps, all she was saying was, congratulations, you have a new afterlife. Is that such a bad thing, really? And where did this term ableist come from? I hadn't heard this before. They said that her statement was ableist. It's discriminatory against people with disabilities. Well, I'm going to be picky for a minute and start a conversation, hopefully. Don't you think people with disabilities would rather not have them? I'm just asking. I don't know. I have a disability. I wear glasses because without them, I'm blind, pretty much. I would rather not have them. I consider it a disability and would rather be able-sighted. Now, Stephen Hawking was in a lot of pain, as I understand it. Now, without a body, not so much. So isn't what Gal Gadot said actually kind of a good thing? What do you think about this? Leave me your comments on the Facebook page or on the Twitter page, or even send me an email. Go to the website, thefwotshow.com. There's buttons for all of that, or you can just send me an email, rob@thefwotshow.com. You know what? While you're at the website, subscribe to the show on iTunes or the Google Play Store or YouTube, because there's buttons for all that stuff there. There's also a button that will take you to the FWOT shop, where you can get a t-shirt or a hat or a coffee mug even that will go to support everything on the Coil Entertainment Network, and we'd appreciate it. I might even put a button for that new Jesus Jones album. Let's see how that goes. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you with this, and I'm going to try not to be sick just saying it. Sonic. That drive-in place that looks like something that was around in the 50s, if you were around then, which I wasn't. Anyway, they're famous for selling their slushes and milkshakes and all that stuff, and now there's a new slush flavor coming soon. Pickle juice slushes. Yeah, I said that right. Pickle juice. That's not a FWOT. That's a FWY. Seriously. Because ew. So, yeah. Until next time, be safe. I'm going to recommend avoiding the pickle juice. And let's see, don't eat the Tide Pods, and don't order pizza with your shoes, because that's just stupid.